Hi folks, welcome to today's color process video. So there's not all that much to really talk about with this one. As you can see, it's a pretty simple comic overall in terms of both the line work and the color choices. This is similar to a comic I did, I think it was 2 years back, again involving Batman, and it was very similarly laid out in terms of most of the comic was just a close up of Batman's head and shoulders. And I went with a similar color scheme where, Batman has this nice kind of vibrant blue going on, and then the background was just this like flat yellow. And I did think about with this one of going with a more detailed look in terms of the rendering and shading because I thought, maybe in this case, because the artwork was so simple that I should let the colors do the grunt work in terms of getting across like volume and shape and whatnot. And yeah, the more I worked on it, the more I thought, do you know what? It looks fine as is. I've mentioned this before, and sometimes you've just got to know when not to do something. As a result, there's actually not all that much to talk about with this one. One thing I can point out is the parents in the penultimate panel. I was going to give Martha Wayne a more vibrant look. I was going to give her maybe like a red dress and just to make her stand out a bit more from the father. However, I realized when I was working on it that it would look better if both parents were in like dark shades. It was always my intention with the father, Thomas Wayne, to have him basically just nearly entirely black, or in this case, as close to black. Like this isn't that what you see here isn't actually black. It's like a very, 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 very dark and navy. um, and yeah, I briefly put some color on the mother's dress, and it just wasn't working for me because I felt it was kind of it was taking focus away from Bruce, from Batman, when I wanted him to be the focal point and for the parents to basically be kind of almost like just background objects. They're there, but they're not the main focus. So yeah, with the mother and father, I just added just a touch of color to them with like just a touch of like blue highlights at the top, just to just to not have them look so flat. And a weird this is only after the fact that I've noticed this, but a weird little side effect of how I've colored the parents is that, is it just me or do they look almost ghostly, like they could be apparitions that only Bruce Wayne, Batman, is seeing? I mean, it was always my intention with this that the reveal would be that, oh, Batman's parents are very much alive and well. However, if you do read this comic as the parents being ghosts or apparitions or what have you, it suddenly makes the comic a lot less lighthearted and very, very much darker than I had intended. And while that wasn't my intention with this comic, I actually kind of like that. And as a result, even though it wasn't what I intended, I think that's how I choose to read the comic now. I think it's made all the more. What kind of pushes that aside from the visual of the parents being almost, not quite, but almost grayscale, is in the final panel. Bruce saying, "I am the knight," and the dialogue from the father coming from off panel. Again, not intentional, but the fact that the dialogue is coming from off panel and we can't see the father, it almost gives the impression, at least from the way I'm looking at it, that what we're seeing in that final panel is what we're seeing. It's not what Bruce is seeing, and it probably sells that whole his parents are still dead thing even more. So, uh, yeah, a bit morbid, but do you know what? I very much like my dark humor, so I quite like the fact that this comic, at least from my point of view, it has an unintentionally dark streak to it, and yeah, I really like that. Anyways, yeah, I won't hold you up any longer. I will leave it at that, and yeah, I'll see you at the next video. Take care.